Happy to be here. My name is Jake Fischer. I'm an account executive at Contentful, which is a composable content management system. And the star of our show here next to me is Patrick Sommers from Roche-Posay. So Patrick, you want to give a little introduction?
Well, thank you, and yeah, just jump right into it. Really excited to be here, so thank you for the invitation. My name is Patrick Sommers. I'm the director of O+O+O at Roche-Posay, which is a really fancy French way of saying I'm the head of sponsorships for our US-based brand. Really in charge of managing our sponsorship strategy, mapping out our roadmap for how we want to activate across our portfolio, how we integrate our athletes, and really a full 360 piece of the marketing mix to support our brand, our brands that are involved in the sponsorships. So really excited to be here.
Awesome. All right, so start off, tell us a little bit about La Roche-Posay and what you guys stand for.
Sure. So La Roche-Posay, we are a French-based brand of the L'Oreal umbrella. Entered the U.S. market in the early 2000s. Our roots are in France, in La Roche-Posay. The story goes, sometime in the year 1400, a French earl was traversing the countryside, stumbled upon the town of La Roche-Posay, somehow fell into a hot spring, a regular spring that's full of La Roche-Posay thermal spring water. The earl or duke or whatever he was, he had a skin condition. Magically, the skin condition was cured. So that's kind of our secret sauce. Fast forward to 1975, when our brand was officially founded as a dermatological brand. Really, the emphasis on our product is it all contains this high mineral content thermal spring water from La Roche-Posay. Medically backed, really medical first backed, real big emphasis on integrating with dermatologists, research and innovation. Acquired by L'Oreal, like I said, entered the US market in the mid 2000s, and then we've been growing like gangbusters ever since. For the second year in a row per Nielsen, we are the fastest growing skincare brand, currently number 3 by market share. And by the end of the year, if sales continue as they are projected, we should be number 2, surpassing Neutrogena, so, which is good stuff. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, the fountain of youth. Sounds good. Awesome. Well, I hear, a lot of what you're focusing on right now these days is sun protection. I am always reminded by my mother to wear sunscreen. Why is that so important?
Yeah, scary stats for you guys. 1 in 5 people before they turn 70 will contract skin cancer. That's a fact. Yet only 11% of people wear sunscreen daily. So we really focus on the education piece on why photo protection is so important. Photo protection for us is a public health issue. So again, our big emphasis is on educating the public around the importance of photo protection, why every day should be a sunscreen day, not just when it's sunny out. Cloud cover in the winter, it really doesn't matter. Every day you should be wearing photo protection to make sure that you're making sure your skin is healthy. The skin is the largest organ on the body, so you want to make sure that you are taking care of your largest organ.
Scary. All right. Well, how do you bring that message to the masses?
Sure. So I guess really the evolution of beauty brands. Let me just drop this water bottle. It's in the way. Get a little more comfortable here, guys. Beauty brands typically and traditionally focus on, let's do television commercials, let's hire the biggest celebrity at the time, and let's make them the center point of our campaign, and really this luxurious beauty, what's the term I'm looking for here? Aspirational look and feel. We kind of take a different approach where we try to focus on the educational piece, root ourselves in being backed by 90,000 plus board certified dermatologists worldwide, focus on the research and innovation that L'Oreal kind of helps with. So, billions upon billions of dollars go into the formulation of our product to make sure that it is most up to date, cutting edge, and help protect all layers and facets of your skin. Really the medical back piece of it comes around. We have done over 750 plus medical studies, published studies, to kind of help bring that message to life across the medical space. And that's why we're so keen on integrating our dermatologists in everything we do, in all of our touch points, focusing less on the aspirational beauty piece of it and more about the education and why photo protection is a public health issue, because we are definitely a purpose-driven brand.
Yeah, so being tan isn't the most important thing in the world. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, so obviously the conceit in the 70s and 80s and even to the early 90s is, let's get as tan as possible. I mean, even look at the, in the early aughts with the Jersey Shore, the GTA, and the guys going tanning all the time. Yeah, we're trying to dispel that myth of doing that, and it's more focused on the healthy protection of the skin and really educating the consumers via our different touch points.
Yeah, I love that. And such a naturally baked in brand differentiator, right? When you can come in with that level of education and that confidence and authenticity in your approach of your messaging.
Absolutely. And I think philosophically, myself included, but as a brand, we don't believe in this idea of like logo slaps. We try to be authentic with any storytelling. Because like I said, at the end of the day, we are a purpose-driven, mission-based company or brand focused on life-changing skincare for all. So we're really focused on different pillars, photo protection being a public health issue, democratizing access to skincare, and really focusing on a derm-first focus around our brand and why it's so important.
Love that. So just to get a little bit more tactical here, this being a sports marketing summit, why tennis? How have you attacked this approach and this activation to bring this message through the sport world, and especially now with the U.S. Open coming up and everything going on in the tennis world?
Yeah, no, great question. And I think most traditional beauty companies and even dermatological brands are not involved in traditional sports marketing. My background ranges across the entire ecosystem, being agency side, being brand side, being property rights holder. So I have the advantage of understanding how the whole ecosystem works, and so how we as a brand can touch the lives and educate a large population of people about the importance of photo protection, especially with a sport like tennis. We've commissioned studies, the National Health Institute has commissioned studies, but on average, people who play tennis, consume tennis, even the professional players who play tennis, they're 8 times more likely to be exposed to more UV rays than the regular standard person. So their incidence of potentially contracting skin cancer is 8 times higher. So we felt that a way to enter and educate the masses in a premium sport, since we were a premium brand, tennis seemed like that natural inflection point. It was also very purposeful because when you sponsor a sport like tennis, you're sponsoring not just the male side or the female side. We're sponsoring both sides, so we can be equal in our representation across both male and female sports.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Obviously, you can see these players out in the sun all the time. Who are you sponsoring?
Sure. So, we sponsor a mix of both athletes and tournaments, not only here domestically, but abroad. So, I'll give you a story here, how the genesis of how it all started. So we kind of took a bet in 2022 to get involved in traditional sports sponsorships. We took a sponsorship with the U.S. Open to be the official sunscreen. It afforded us the opportunity with the growing interest in tennis, I call it the Super Bowl of tennis, with the U.S. Open being the Grand Slam. And it really performed well for us in 22, so much so that we doubled down in 23, increased our presence, and we signed a few athletes, specifically Madison Keys and Frances Tiafoe. Again, focus on sponsoring both a male and female athlete, so we're not focusing on one gender or the other. And then 23 performed even better for us, so we've continued to invest heavily in the sport. So we've become the official sunscreen of the Miami Open and most recently the Mubadala City DC Open. And we also added another ambassador to our roster of Taylor Fritz, so he's our latest ambassador. But then because this performed so well for us here in the United States, our sister brands across the globe, whether it be LRP Australia, who've sponsored Alex de Minaur, who's the number, I believe, 10 player currently in the world. Additionally, our global team signed Yannick Sinner, who's now the number 1 player in the world. And then we're also starting to sponsor some additional tournaments across the globe. I believe the Italian team is sponsoring the Rome Invitational. Our Canadian team sponsored the Canadian Open. So we're looking to expand our roster and really maximize what we're doing with the sport of tennis. It's the synergies are there. Again, premium sport, premium audience. People affected by UV in incidents up to 8 times more than the standard person. So it affords us an authentic opportunity to educate consumers, storytell, and really impact the lives of people. Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're helping people prevent photo protection from happening. And it's also why we try to incorporate our dermatologists that we partner with into everything we do. whether it be into our advertisements. So our latest campaign features Dr. Mamina, who's a board certified dermatologist working with our tennis athletes. We bring derm influencers out to our sites from a hospitality standpoint to capture content to amplify that message, because the megaphone effect of sport coupled with the megaphone effect of our influencers. And additionally, we'll even partner with certain dermatologists at the Miami Open. We partner with Baptist Health, who's the official healthcare partner of the Miami Open, but they're also a strategic partner of Roche-Posay. We work with them at the Miami Cancer Institute. So we brought them in to do skin checks on site during the Miami Open. So again, working to democratize access to skin cancer screenings for people that may or may not have the ability to go get them.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. You mentioned earlier you hate logo slaps. Like, this is a full 360 approach to skin health, to brand building, right? The ability to have the dermfluencers, right, as you mentioned, take the big brand messaging and like distill that into actionable tips for all of their followers to take on right away. I mean, what an amazing way to build momentum out of a big event like that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So really, it's a very purposeful part of our strategy to include our dermfluencers, just to amplify what we do further. And that's where the online component of my job title comes in, as funny as the title may be. So yeah, it's a way to connect with audiences, especially your younger Gen Alphas, Gen Zs, who are consuming this content like gangbusters across all the social channels, whether it's TikTok, Snap, Insta, Meta, etc. So, you know, you have someone like a Dr. Shaw, who is the most followed derm influencer on all of social media. I think he has like 20+ million followers. He's a partner of ours, and so he's out there naturally talking about the efficacy of our products. And it's not a paid endorsement. Like, he genuinely believes in what we do and the mission that we're trying to put out there. So it's natural for us to want to partner with him and bring him out and have him further amplify our moments in the sun, if you will.
Love that. How has it been working with the athletes themselves?
I can't say enough great things about our roster of athletes. We were chatting outside before, and Francis Tiafoe specifically, he just was a finalist at the Cincinnati Open, but we had him also down at the Mubadala City DC Open. We did meet and greet, some content capture with him at our fan sun safety education booth, which is on site. The minute the guy walks in, he's hugging our brand ambassadors, dapping everybody up, and he's just a genuinely nice guy and just easy to work with. And that goes across the entire roster, from Fritz to Madison. I haven't had the pleasure yet of working with Yannick or Alex, but we'll actually get to meet Alex tomorrow because we have this great event planned at the Edge. We just released a press release about it this morning. So we're going into our third year as the official sunscreen of the US Open. Exciting, but kind of trying to tie it all back together. So we are doing an activation at the Edge at Hudson Yards. So this summer we sponsored an installation at the Edge called Shades, which is all about how UV light interacts differently across different color spectrums. There's a lot of sun safety education up there, and it affords us the opportunity to sample to the 500 to 700,000 plus people that will be there across the course of July through September when the installation runs. But we also have the opportunity to do really something cool. So we're building a pickleball court on the Edge. First time it's ever been done. So it'll be 1,100 feet up in the sky. We have 4 of our tennis talents. So I mentioned Alex, who I'll have the pleasure of meeting for the first time. And then we're bringing our 3 US-based ambassadors, Madison Keys, Francis Tiafoe, and Taylor Fritz. And we're playing a fun pickleball match. Davis Burleson will be our MC. He's a well-known social media influencer. So it'll be just a fun, exciting morning. But we tie it all back together to, again, the purpose-driven nature of what we're trying to do. So we have a brand commitment partner in the American Cancer Society who we've worked with for a long time. And so we're bringing them into the fold. And then at the end of this kind of fun, kitschy, stunty moment, we'll be presenting them a check for $50,000 to help further our commitment, bolster our commitment to helping fight skin cancer. So again, we don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk in terms of it being a purpose-driven mission. Photo protection is a public health issue. Every day should be a sunscreen day, so what better way than to help fund the American Cancer Society and their mission to help eradicate skin cancer.
Yeah, it's awesome. Putting your money where your mouth is.
Exactly.
Love that. I feel like it's got to be awesome to see Taylor Fritz on a pickleball court. Like, his wingspan is the entire court, I think, probably.
Yeah, he's a tall drink of water. My colleague on the brand side who manages our Anthelios sunscreen or photo protection franchise, he's a tall guy himself, former college baseball player, about 6'6". He went on the photo shoot with Fritz, and then they were sending pictures on our internal Teams chat. And then you can see Fritz is slightly taller than him.
Yeah.
So that was my first match. Was like, you haven't I found someone who's taller than you.
There you go. I love it. That's awesome. So tell us a little bit too. I mean, relatively new brand from a United States push. How have you sort of broken into the U.S. market? And then on the flip side, L'Oreal is known as like global brand builders. How are you partnering with the global L'Oreal footprint as you activate all these messages?
Yeah, I think it goes back to, staying true and authentic to our roots. We are a French pharmacy kind of cult followed brand, but we haven't really deviated from what our value proposition is. Again, medical first, recommended by over 90,000 board certified dermatologists, focus on the research innovation and the medical led kind of research they do in terms of, publishing 750 plus papers to explain why the different skin changes, the areas of focus, whether it be photoprotection, skin moisturizer, so on and so forth. So we, again, stay true to our roots. Making sure that we are educating folks about the importance of the different skin conditions. And again, as we've evolved our strategy, making sure that we involve, whether it be dermatologists here in the United States, utilizing the influencers to touch that younger audience, just trying to stay on top of trends, and then, again, differentiate ourselves in the marketplace by investing in these different sports and entertainment properties, whether it's tennis right now. We've done some testing and learning with golf. There's some other properties and passion points that we're exploring as well, especially in the lead up to all these different events, whether it's FIFA coming up in 26, Olympics in 28. So again, we're exploring and trying to validate furthering expanding our portfolio. But again, it's all comes down to being authentic and having those authentic touch points, stories, and educational moments, all rooted in science, and staying true to who our brand is in terms of being a French pharmacy-led brand.
Yeah, I love that. All right, so you've got a really cool event coming up at the Edge. You just wrapped up a different cool event. What are some of your favorite activations and events that you've done over the years?
I know we were chatting about this before. I've had the good fortune of working across pretty much every major sports league and team, whether it be the NFL, NHL, MLB, NBA, MLS, so on and so forth, and golf. I think one of the coolest things I've ever done, I'm going to cheat a little bit and give you two. So when I was agency side supporting the Ford NFL relationship, during the Ford's first year as the official truck of the NFL, when we were at Super Bowl, I believe it was 51 in Houston. We decided to, make an impact, make a stunt. We hung two real Ford F-250 pickup trucks, which, if you know, they're about 8,000 pounds each. We hung them 40 feet up in the air and had them be left and right field goal uprights. And we afforded fans at the Super Bowl experience to come through for an opportunity to kick a field goal through this makeshift uprights. All we had to do was just drain all the fluids. Otherwise, they hung up there. We put that together in about 6 or 7 weeks. Talk about a labor of love. I think that's where I lost most of my hair. I had a 950-page engineering report because we had to be able to lower the trucks in 60 seconds in case there was any high winds. But that was probably the coolest, most visually impactful stunt I've ever done, or a sponsorship opportunity. But going back to why working for Roche-Posay is so special to me, it's the purpose-driven nature of what we do. And again, anytime I've had the opportunity to work with the military and support their efforts, I come from a military family, so I've been able to work across the NFL Salute to Service platform for a number of years, and then even brand side stop when I was at Northwell Health. We've done a lot of work around veterans, putting up, throwing concerts. So during Fleet Week, we threw a concert for 20,000 troops and sailors at UBS Arena. We had a whole day of programming around them. So again, being able to give back to troops has been something near and dear to my heart as well. So whether it's going to military bases and standing up Salute to Service programs, or throwing this concert for Fleet Week sailors and airmen and Marines, again, cheating. It's two-part answer.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Really good. I mean, I think it shows that like when the brand messaging is authentic and you can back it up with, doctors supporting your messaging and making donations to impactful charities, it allows you to almost like expand your marketing and the stunts themselves, right? Because you can get away with more when everyone knows it's coming from an authentic place, and then it carries through to the results on its own almost. Yeah,
I couldn't say it better myself. I think, again, it keeps going back to, if I sound like a broken record, it's because it rings true. Yeah, and I think the most impactful brands are ones that authentically communicate the story out to the masses or their target audience about the importance of why they do what they do. They're not just doing it to put their logo on something so people know, oh, hey, I don't want to pick on any brand here. I am XYZ Corp or I'm Acme Corp, and I'm doing this because I just want the visibility and association versus like we try to make sure that if we're sponsoring a property that we can authentically communicate to the audience of that property and those, whether they're in person or whether they're consuming it online, they're consuming offline, wherever they're consuming it, we want to be able to communicate with them and utilize the IP in an authentic manner. And again, all ties back to the medical first value proposition.
Love it. Awesome. Well, what's next? What's next for the brand? How are you going to take this tennis thing to the next level, you think?
Yeah, so again, it's trying to just maximize and squeeze as much as we can out of tennis, but at the same time, what's that next dare to be great opportunity? What's that next moment where we can, connect with a large audience of people, have impact in terms of our public health mission of helping prevent skin cancer and emphasizing photo protection. So again, as I mentioned, we're exploring, we did some test and learning with golf. I think we'll continue to go down that path. We're talking to kind of squeeze as much as we can out of the tennis ecosystem. Probably more players, more tournaments, not just here, but abroad. And then there's other opportunities coming up, whether it's, FIFA 26, LA in 28, and how do we authentically show up in those moments, not just in 26 or 28, but what are the touch points around those areas in advance of that we can touch? And whether it's with a property or whether it's on a more casual approach, in a go-to-market strategy, to be seen, but again, we're working on that diligently, but there's a lot more exciting stuff to come in 2025 and beyond. This is just the tip of the iceberg for Roche-Posay. We're heavily invested in this arena, and we want to continue to help, grow the brand, grow the awareness around what we do, and continue to grow alongside our sister brand, CeraVe. If like I said, if sales ring true from a forecast standpoint, they're number one, and hopefully we'll be number two, and then continue to just climb.
World domination.
Like Pinky and Brain says. So what are you trying to do tonight? Same thing you try to do every night. Take over the world.
Awesome. Well, I think we are holding up everybody for lunch. So, I think maybe you have a couple minutes if anyone has any questions. If not, thanks so much, Patrick. This was great. If you need any warm bodies to take up space in any of these cool events, let me know.
Good to know.